So here then begins part 2 of our slideshow about our trip to Germany. Here we're beginning with a picture at dusk of one of the famous Freiburg city gates. And next, here's a picture from Breisgau, which is right on the French border on the Rhine River. So here's a picture of the Rhine. And the mountains in the background are actually in France.
Yeah, very cute little town.
Breisgau is known particularly for its beautiful church, which sits on top of a quite large hill.
Yeah.
So here we're actually on the hill making our way up to the church.
It actually reminded me a lot of Prague.
Breisgau at one point was an important stopping point when this part of Europe was part of the Roman Empire. Here's a view from the top of the hill where the church is. Here we're looking back east towards Kaiserstuhl, a famous region in the Black Forest known for its wine. Here are just more pictures from the church area.
In the courtyard.
You get the sense when you're in Breisgau that it's an incredibly old city. This was quite unique, the mosaics inside of the church. I haven't seen that very many times. One of the most impressive things inside of the church is this, what appears to be hand-carved wooden relief up on the altar.
You shouldn't have taken a picture. There was a sign saying not to.
And here we're in one of our favorite vineyards, Britzingen, in the village of in Britzingen in Mulheim. So that's also from Britzingen. Here's the picture of the
ridiculous car
Mercedes that we rented for our trip. So when you see all these pictures and we're driving around, you know that we're driving in this weird-looking Mercedes.
So Wednesday we went on a road trip into the Black Forest. These are all the countryside in the Black Forest.
Typical Black Forest scene of horses in the front yard and this unique German architecture.
And we took some wrong turns, so we got a lot of the countryside that day, but it was really, really nice.
So I wanted to take Brittany up into one of my favorite cities on the way. So here we're checking out what I think is one of the most beautiful cathedrals in southern Germany.
Yeah, it was really beautiful.
It's in the town of St. Peter, which was an old, very important abbey and monastery. So even though we're in a really small town, the church is just incredibly nice.
Yeah.
As evidenced by this unbelievably rich-looking organ.
And here's the city square.
And here is a view from the outside of the church, which is Baroque style, Brittany's favorite architectural style. She is always impressed by the gaudiness of Baroque architecture.
It's just always so ornate.
And there's a picture of the backside of the monastery, old monastery. And here just pictures of the countryside around St. Peter. And you might be wondering if we somehow digitally enhanced these photos to make them look more green, but no, it's
really that green. It was so beautiful. The contrast and the greens from the trees.
And hopefully you can get a sense from looking at the color of these firs why this part of the forest is called the Black Forest, because from a distance it does seem quite dark.
Yeah. And the cows.
Yeah, the dairy products from the Black Forest are incredibly good.
And you never see ranches, you just see maybe, 10, 20 cows, and that's about it.
And here I just thought I would take a couple photos of how Brittany took these of the crazy roads through the mountain region.
Yes, my handy photo work is in most of this slideshow.
And here we're at, now I've forgotten, Candlehof, is the name of the mountain. And I was really surprised by this view. I had no idea we were going to see such a vista when we got to the top.
Oh, you could just see for miles. I wish it would have been a clear day because it was breathtaking. And so you can see in the background people go and skydive off that, or not skydive, parachute.
Yeah, paraglide or whatever.
Yeah, off of that cliff.
So now we're making our way to where we stayed that night. I found a hotel in a really, really small German town, Bad Peterstall Breisgau, in absolutely the middle of nowhere in the Black Forest. So all of these pictures are just pictures we took along the way.
Yeah, it's just one little town after the next, and they were all so beautiful. Like, no town was run down.
And here we decided to take a pit stop in the town of Halsach, which is known for its almost over-the-top architecture and the use of all of the flags that you see here.
We found the Latvian flag.
Another example of traditional half-timbering architecture.
More flags.
And here we just thought the clouds were really pretty. It had just finished raining about, I guess, a half hour prior. And in fact, then it rained again about a half hour later. And we took this picture to show everyone at home that tractors also drive through towns in Germany.
Yeah.
And so here, now we're in Bad Peterstall where we stayed, and it rained all night.
This is our supper. We had
Traditional Spätzle and Jägerschnitzel.
Yeah. This was a store window of wood carvings. They were really quite detailed.
And here's the view from our hotel window. Beautiful building. And on the right there is the city church. And so here's a picture of the main street in Bad Peterstall. And the city cemetery, and you can see just how small the city is. That's pretty much the whole city right there.
The cemetery was so cool because it was up on top of the hillside, and the way that they decorated the stones and it was just like little garden plots. It was really, really neat.
And we found a traditional German clothing store there.
Jordan's highlight of the trip.
We actually bought Brittany one of these cool Trindles. The lady that was working there was so nice.
They even have them for little girls. I thought they were so cute.
And here, these pictures are from the cafe in the hotel that we stayed in.
The cakes.
They were known for their cakes, especially
amazing.
this huge, it's called Cherry Mountain cake.
Had it not been lunchtime and us leaving, we would have stayed and had some.
So now we're back on the road, headed from Bad Peterstall to the Hohenzollern Castle. We took a kind of detour there before heading to Ludwigsburg.
Coming up on the castle, it was just, it was unbelievable.
So I should probably explain that the Hohenzollern family is one of the most powerful families in European history. They were the rulers of Prussia. And this, in fact, was not even their main place of residence. It was more or less, I guess, a vacation house, because Prussia was actually on the clear opposite side of present-day Germany. So they weren't actually even here that often. But nonetheless, it's an incredibly impressive palace.
So yeah, all these pictures are just in the castle grounds, and you kind of walk in a circle up around the castle, and then the view is just 360 of everything. It's amazing.
And here they have statues of all the rulers within the Hohenzollern family.
We tried to capture a rainstorm.
Got a picture of the family church inside of the castle grounds, and a picture of the Hohenzollern family symbol. Here's
this is like the courtyard.
The main courtyard, yeah. Typical European scene. Anywhere they can put a little cafe, they do. And the one and only picture you'll see of me. So now we're in Ludwigsburg, and this is my friend Jana and her husband Fred's little girl Juliana. And here's a picture of Ludwigsburg's most famous building. It's the Palace of the Kingdom of Württemberg. One of the biggest and most famous palaces in Germany. And here's the summer palace. As if the other one wasn't good enough, they had this one to go to in the summertime. Juliana again with her cute Hello Kitty backpack.
Yeah, she loved Hello Kitty. Had Hello Kitty everywhere.
The last day we were there, Fred and Jana took us to a Württemberg wine road. And here Juliana was having some grape juice. It was really beautiful. I'd never been to that part of Germany on the Neckar River.
Yeah, it was
here you can see just how beautiful it is and how steep the hills are.
Just vines everywhere.
And here's a picture of Jana and her husband Fred. So we're coming to the end of our video. We hope you've enjoyed checking out some of the pictures.
And everyone should take a trip to Germany once in their lifetime. It's completely worth it.
Okay, thanks everyone.
See you soon.